Today on Sports Card ASMR, we are going to open up 5 packs of 1991 Donruss, and from there make a baseball team. That's right, it's our drafting series here on the channel that combines sports card nostalgia and ASMR relaxation. I am the sports card doctor, and I'm very happy that you are here today. In fact, I'd love if you would consider subscribing to the channel, leaving us a like, a comment, hyping up the video. We appreciate any of those things. But more than anything, we're just really happy that you're here today. Now, as always, when we're opening up some of our favorite sports cards, we might find ourselves pulling some sports card legends. And if that's the case, oh, don't you worry. We have some penny sleeves ready to go to make sure that the cards are preserved forever. Or we might add them to our stack of legends cards. These are some of the legends we've opened up here before. There's Travis Kelce celebrating the song Wood. There's Stanky, the Yankee, one of the greatest Yankees for 2 weeks in all of history. There's Jerry Allen White playing a baseball pitcher named Shane Raleigh. There's Will Nuschler Clark. This photo was taken in 1882. There's Rance Mullinax, the only substitute teacher to play Major League Baseball on his off days. There's Chip Hale, the infamous "Did you just do what I think you did" card, because I'm starting to smell it. And then, of course, there's the great Shaq Fu card. This is probably worth so much money that I can't even comprehend it. 22 cents. Here's Pete Rozelle, the greatest NFL commissioner of all time. His comb-over changed the league. There's Bill Laimbeer of Bill Laimbeer's combat basketball fame. Such a legend. There's Steve McInerney, the trainer to the stars. And then there's the greatest punter and mustache of all time, Sean Landeta. That's right. And I'm here to announce that when we reach our next humble goal on the channel, 3,000 subscribers. That's right, 3,000 subscribers. When we hit that mark, we will induct Sean Landeta in to the Sports Card ASMR Hall of Fame. There's only been one previous inductee, and that, of course, was Mark Malone. If you didn't see that induction ceremony, check it out. All right. Just in case we need some prices. All right. Well. Here we are. Hello, friends. Welcome to this draft. I'm excited to see what cards are in this pack, this box of 1991 Donruss. This was sent to us by our longtime listener, friend and supporter, Ranger Donald. There is an address listed down below if you'd like to send the sports card doctor something. We greatly appreciate it. All right. We've opened up a lot of the 1991 Donruss, which is why I think it's fun to just go through a lot of packs and draft a team. I've started to come up with this theory. I'm not going to call it scientific. It's not a scientific theory, but I think 1991 might be the peak of the junk wax era. A lot of people might look to 87, 88, 89, 89 score comes along, 88 score comes along too, explodes everything up. Upper Deck arrives in 89 as well. But I think 1991 is the year in which the most cards were produced because, as we discussed in a recent video, we have a lot of 1991 football card packs. Many that I've picked up, many that you have sent to me. And it's a great year, 1991. I wish I could live in 1991 again, but it's the abundance of 1991 cards is impressive. And now here we got these 1991 Donners. I think the 1991 Donners Series 1 and 2 are the cards, I'd say, that are sent to me the most, which, again, this is not a complaint. I think it's fascinating. So I'm not saying the sports card doctor is the be-all, end-all of this research. I'm just saying I'm putting it out there as a theory, okay? As a theory. Let me know what you think. All right. I think we should pick 4 more packs. What do you say? 4 more packs of cards here. It's 2. We want 5 total. Yeah, I think this works. I think those 5 work. And then, look at that. We have a nice, even layer of cards there. Sorry, I set the box on my scissors. Maybe we'll do 1 card here to cut up. We'll find 1 card to cut up as well. All right, here we go. Just hanging out with a sports card doctor as he drafts a baseball team. We are going to, of course, pick a catcher, first baseman, second baseman, shortstop, third baseman, left fielder, center fielder, right fielder, 5 starting pitchers, 5 relief pitchers, and 1 DH. That's what we're drafting here today. No bench players. That just would be a bridge too far for me. All right. Let's see what we got. First pack. Catcher Greg Colburn, Montreal Expos. We don't get a lot of catchers in this pack, so there's a chance that that is our only catcher that we get. Here's Frank Wills, Matt Williams. That's a great card to put aside there too. Enjoy that one there. We do have another catcher. That's rare. 2 catchers. Bill Hasselman joins the squad here. Legend at the end of his career. First outfielder in the back. Fred Lynn. Rhino, we love this card. Mr. Ryan Sandberg, rest in peace, Rhino. Alright, Bobby Thigpen shatters the save mark. We consider these special cards and undraftable here. Louis Aquino, pitcher, Royals. Geronimo Pena, Tim Hewitt, Sheffield. Stan Palenda, pitcher. And we got Tim Drummond and his mustache pitching. We got another Luis Gonzalez. We just picked one of these up recently. Very early on, Luis Gonzalez as a third baseman. I guess you could even, I do believe this is probably his rookie card there, so always good to have in the collection. Listed as a third baseman, so we'll put him down here. And Chuck Krim, pitcher of the Brewers. In fact, I think the last time we got the Luis Gonzalez, Chuck Krim followed it. There's a little pattern. All right. Willie Stargell puzzle. We'll set that aside. All right. Interesting pack. More catchers than outfielders. We usually don't have that there, so that's fascinating. Okay. Pack number 2. That is a great puzzle piece right there. That is the Stargell puzzle piece. That's good. All right, but let's see what's in this pack. We have Dennis Cook, pitcher, then with the Dodgers. Gene Harris, starting pitcher extraordinaire, the late Bob Welch. Scott Altrin, rookie. Bob McDonald. Kevin Bass, Lord John Chabs. We got Joe Pitker. We got Jack Clark in his little short run with the Padres there. Roberto Kelly, listed at second base. Is this an air card? That is... Do they think he was Pat Kelly? He's definitely not a second baseman. Never really known that to be an air, but all right, we know he's an outfielder. We'll list him there. Eddie Murray, look at that, a little special insert card there. Brett Neckert, Felix Jose, Steve Balboni, Bill Duran. Oh, we got ourselves a young Gary Sheffield playing third base there. So we have 2 youngsters starting out their careers at third base there. All right, next back up. Charlie Liebert. Got a young Curt Schilling there. Roger Clemens, MVP. We're counting the MVP cards. Gary Gaetti. A goddamn checklist. Ooh, Dave Steve, he's almost a shoe-in there. Mike Hartley. Brian Holman. Scott Sanderson, a lot of starting pitchers here. Eric Gunderson. Tony Fernandez at shortstop. Rick Russell, solid frontline pitcher here. Gary Pettis for the outfield. Well, looky that, we got ourselves Ken Griffey Jr. I think he's going to make the team. Terry Mulholland highlight. Eric Hansen. Hansen was coming off a big 18-win season in 1990. Yes, I remember that. I don't know what to do with all that information in my life. That's probably why I started this channel, but the fact that I could walk down the street and tell you, oh yeah, Eric Hansen, he won 18 games in 1990. I don't know what to do with that. It's just wrong. But you out there are probably just like me. All these 1991 cards. I do think it was one of our viewers lately who brought up a good point. I wonder it often. Jay from Nowhere, I think, posted that at some point will we run out of packaged 1991 cards? These seem to be infinite, but there's got to be one final pack somewhere. I'd love that to happen on this channel. Well, what a thumbnail. Opening the last 1991 pack of baseball cards ever. goals. Alright, we got ourselves another shilling. This might be the same pack of cards here. Roger Clemens. Same checklist. Dave Steve. Mike Hartley. Let's see how far it goes. This is like when you get caught cheating at school. Brian Holman. Scott Sanderson. Eric Gunderson. Tony Fernandez. Rick Russell. Gary Pettis. There it is. It's switched up. Okay, there you go. Mark Parrott, catcher. But we come back with Ken Griffey. Derry Mulholland. Hey, did you know Eric Hansen won 18 games in 1990? I gotta tell you, that's almost not fair. We might have to open up another pack here. Alright. 1991 Donruss. Final pack, maybe. Look at this. Another. Say it with me. God damn checklist. Alright, we got Rance Mullenix there. DH, but he's also a third baseman. Another Dennis Cook. Another Gene Harris. Another Bob Welch. Another Scott Allred. Another Bob McDonald. Another Kevin Bass. Continued to learn Sean Jabs. And the best is alive. Joe Pitker. Jack Clark. Roberto Kelly. Eddie Murray. Okay. Brett Nackert. I gotta say, Felix Jose and Steve. Bye Bob Bodie, whatever the hell his name is. I gotta tell you, it kind of, when you see that, when it's that clear that these are just the orders, you know, that they've been cut and they're put in this kind of order, it takes away a little bit of the magic. Not from me now, but from back when I was a kid, when I was buying these, and you're chasing, you're chasing a Ken Griffey, and you're hoping like you get it, but it's almost predetermined wherever you got the pack. You know what I mean? It's not as random. Like, why can't I get a bye Balboni and a Roger Clemens? Why does it have to be different packs? It's a weird thing. All right. Now I'm just rambling. I think we got to open up at least 2 more packs. There's less choices, right? It just seems the fair thing to do. There we go. At least a new run of cards here. All right, we got Cecil Fielder, Brian McRae, Kevin Gross, John Shelby, Ramon Martinez, Andre Dawson All-Star. I'm going to set that aside. Rich Garces, Jeff Manto, Craig Biggio, listed as a catcher. Love that card. Sean Hilligus, Paul O'Neill. We got Sweet Chili Davis, Greg Smith, another Mark Parrott, Carlos Quintana. All right, final pack. Ourselves a Tim McIntosh catcher card right there. Sandy Alomar, Mike Scott, Frank Thomas. It's not cut well, but that's a nice card there. Ooh, Hall of Famer Barry Larkin, Hall of Famer Dave Winfield, Hall of Good Rick Sutcliffe, Hall of Good Tony Pena, Hall of Not So Good but Fun Oda B. McDowell, Mike Devereaux outfield. Ricky Henderson, a lot of Hall of Famers in this. I'm not even upset with the checklist. Not even upset. Steve Chitrin, you remember Steve Chitrin. Doug Trebeck, Pedro Munoz, and Jim Thatcher. All right, now I feel as though we can pick a team. Okay, so here we go. Move all this out of the way. We don't count these cards in the draft. And of course, these are goddamn checklists. All right, I think we should start with our catchers first. What do you think about that? I think our catchers should get in there first. Okay, there we go. I'm going to choose my starting catcher. We have Tony Pena, Sandy Alomar. And remember, we're going on what we knew in 1991. I think Tim McIntosh might be the best choice there. Mark Parrott, and then Craig Biggio, catcher. I gotta tell you, it's a close call. Tony Pena is just, at this point, just a veteran, kind of a second-tier catcher. You got Sandy Alomar coming off his Rookie of the Year season. And then you got Craig Biggio. Now again, so these guys not on the team. Craig Biggio, we know who he becomes. But in 1991, if you were to draft a catcher, you would probably want Sandy Alomar Jr. But guess what? I'm going with a little speed. I'm going with a little bit of an outside-the-box choice. I respect Sandy Alomar Jr., but my starting catcher is going to be Craig Biggio here today. All right, let's go around the horn here in the infield. Shortstop. These are the choices right now. Whether or not they stick, we'll find out. Carlos Quintana, no. Greg Smith, no. Jeff Manto, no. Well, this might be the leader for DH right there, I'll tell you that much. Normally you'd want Steve Balbo. Bye-bye, Balboni. Jack Clark's not a bad pick, but he's coming off a 25 home run, 62 RBI season, not enough. Rance Mullenix at third base. He's our leader right now. Fernandez, no, he's not going to make shortstop. Well, definitely moving Mullenix and putting Gaetti there. Gaetti over Sheffield might be the question. Bill Doran at second. No, that's our choice. Easy choice right there. So the only question, we have a third base problem. In 1991, all three of these might be good options at third base. But I'm going to eliminate Gary Sheffield because he's still kind of not Gary Sheffield. About a year or two, he would become that. 10 home runs, 67 RBI season in 1990. But Dwight Gooden's nephew, not quite there. I think it comes down to these two. And if you look at their stats here on Matthew Derek Williams and Gary Joseph Gaetti, Gaetti is starting to fade. Matthew's 1990 season is huge. He has arrived. Did I say Matthew? I said Matthews. I said Williams. I meant Williams. Matt Williams is our third baseman. Sorry, Gary Gaetti. Apologize to you and your Lord. All right. There we go. This is one of our best lineups. I gotta tell you. Let's do it. Let's go to the outfield. This is one of our best drafts. Jim Thatcher, Pedro Munoz, Ricky in left. Maybe a DH. O'Neill in right. Roberto Kelly's an option. Griffey in center. No real question there, huh? If we were drafted in 1975, Fred Lynn would definitely be the choice. Okay. I think that's pretty solid. We do count the MVP cards. So center field Ken Griffey Jr., left field Ricky Anderson. Currently, we have a DH battle. All right, we got Dave Winfield, Cecil Fielder. Cecil's coming off the season, and Dave is just kind of getting back in the groove, so I'm going to make the call now. Our DH is Cecil Fielder. This is a solid lineup. This is an all-star team, and a lot of times when we draft, we have to have a backup second baseman start, that kind of thing. I like this team a lot. Does it seem like I'm really excited? More than I should be for a team of baseball cards? You better believe it. All right, we're looking for 5 starting pitchers. Doug Trebek's definitely on there. Steve Chitrin, not so much. Rick Sutcliffe's a contender. Mike Scott. Sean Hilligas. Rich Garces. Ramon Martinez. We're so rich in starting pitching, I don't think Kevin Crouse gets considered here. Bob Welch. 18-game winner Rick Russell. You got to consider these guys. Scott Sanderson is a choice. He's coming off a 17-win season. Dave Steve, Rocket Roger, Schilling's too young in the game. And then our repeat back. Got some tough choices to make here. Who are our 5 starting pitchers? I think you gotta put Roger Clemens. Maybe number 1. Dave Steve, number 2. Russell. He's coming off of injury. Hanson. He's not quite there. I mean, 18 wins. This is how deep we are. Setting them aside. Bob Welch. Welch is coming off his 27-win season. Martinez is coming off his 20. That's my number 4. Mike Scott is starting to fade. Rick Sutcliffe is starting to fade. Doug Trebek, though, is not. 22 win season. That's how deep we are. This would be a solid starting rotation on any other draft. Look at that. Okay. Here we go, in this order. Roger Clemens, Dave Steen, Bob Welch, Ramon Martinez, Doug Trebek. I think you're pitching straight into the World Series with that rotation right there. We got to close out here. We got to make ourselves a bullpen. We don't have a clear path to that bullpen. We might have to. Should we cheat and take some starters and make them longmen? Sean Hilligas, believe it or not, an option. We've made Rich Garces our closer before, so that's an option here. Gene Harris is an innings eater. Dennis Cook, not bad, that's possible. Eric Gunderson. Yeah, there's, oddly enough, there are no clear-cut, relief guys. You don't live in Eckersley or, Tony Fossis or Rick Honeycutt or anyone like that. Stan Belinda's like our only pure kind of bullpen guy. Frank Willis, eating some innings there. All right. Yeah, I think I'm going to cheat a little bit here. Stan Belinda is going to go on the team. Dennis Cook for lefty. I'm going to cheat. Why not? 3 guys. Mike Scott's going to the bullpen. I'm going to put Rick Sutcliffe in the bullpen. I'm going to put Eric Hansen in the bullpen. I don't think we've ever had this where we haven't had a lot of clear-cut guys. So who's going to become the closer? Is it still fiery Stan Belinda? 8 saves for the 1990 Pirates? Sure. Let's get crazy. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Stan Belinda is our closer. The rest are set of men. All right. Kind of a weird pitching staff. I like what we have here for our pitching staff. We're going to get some outs with this pitching staff. Definitely going to get some outs. Okay. But now it's perhaps the best part of this here. All right, let's make our baseball lineup. Oh, yeah. The dreams we had as children making or managing our own baseball team. This is why franchise mode is such a success. Okay, there we go. All right, without a doubt, our leadoff guy. Ricky goes into left. This is our leadoff guy, without a doubt. All right, number 2. We got ourselves an interesting set of options here. I'm going to go Barry Larkin at shortstop. Number 2, Barry Larkin. Number 3, Ken Griffey Jr. Cleanup hitter. We're going Frank Thomas. Wow, this is where we get really stacked. We're going Cecil Fielder. DH. I think I'm going Rhino. 6. Second base. We're going Matt Williams. Third base. I want to acknowledge that if you're hearing in the background what sounds like a goat being sacrificed, my neighbors have decided very early on a Sunday to just fix up his 1967 Mustang. This is the dude that listens to like Rat and Poison and Journey and just kind of a lot of crappy 80s music in his patio, just enjoying his life, but interfering in my recording process there. So, apologize if anyone heard some noise there. All right, next up we got ourselves, I'm going Paul O'Neill. Outfielder. And then we got rounding out the lineup there, Craig Biggio at catcher. One of my favorite players, and as I called him back during this era, Craig Biggio. Well, there's our lineup. There's our team. Ricky Anderson, Barry Larkin, Ken Griffey Jr., Frank Thomas, Cecil Fielder, Ryan Sandberg, Matt Williams, Paul O'Neill, and Craig Biggio. What's your lineup? Comment down below. I want to... Would you have drafted any players? Did you agree with all the choices? What do you think about my controversial bullpen? I want to know. Comment down below. Thanks for watching. A lot of new people jumping on. This is an ASMR channel first, baseball card channel second, but we're happy to have all of you here. All right? We shall see you next time here on Sports Card ASMR.